right, the last part of this section, we want to look at a survey where we have to do a little bit more work. So looking at example 3, and we have 1,700 randomly selected people from America and France were surveyed. 1,040 of them agreed. 290 Americans agreed. And if 810 Americans were surveyed, we want to answer the following questions. So first of all, we need to figure out sections 1, 2, and 3, right? So if a total of 1,040 people agree, remember we have to work from the inside out, so we want to work with section 2 first. Okay, so section 2, out of 1,040 people agreed, if 290 Americans agreed, that means that in section 2 is 290. Section 3, however, will depend on the number of Americans that agreed. So 1,040 minus 290 means 750 French agreed. Remember, we don't have a category for the French. So this will be 750. This will be 290. This may be really small. Okay. So now we need to figure out section 1. If 810 Americans were surveyed and 290 of them agreed, that means obviously the rest of them disagreed, I would assume, which would equal 520. So in section 1, we have 520 Americans that disagreed. All right. So if we want to go ahead and figure out section 4, okay, that means we have a total of 1,700 people surveyed. And we're going to subtract the 520 Americans that disagreed, the 290 Americans that agreed, and the 750 Frenches that agreed, which is going to give us 140 of the French that disagreed. And that's going to be our section 4, 140. Okay, so with 2 of them, it's kind of easy. It's not too bad. When we get to 3 of them, it can get a little interesting. So let's go ahead and talk about that one. Okay? So for example 4, and normally I would have you work this out in a classroom setting, and then I would check and kind of help you. But I think it's important that we work this one out because this is really similar to something I look for on a test. So this is a survey of college students for behaviors, whether they do alcohol, cigarettes, illegal drugs, or a combination of those things. Okay? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and label my Venn diagram. I have my universe. I'm going to label this one alcohol. I'm going to go ahead and label this one cigarettes. I'm going to label this one illegal drugs, and I'm just going to call them ACD. Okay? And what I want to do with this is I still want to do that thing where I work myself to the inside and worked my way out. So I want to look for people that have all 3 behaviors first. Okay? So I'm looking for people that have all 3 behaviors. I have 97 of them that have all 3 behaviors. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay? Now I have a total of I want to look at maybe alcohol and cigarettes, so A and C. Okay, which is here. Okay, and I have a total of 424 that do both of those things, but 97 of those people do all three. So I got to take them out, which leaves me with 327 people that only do alcohol and cigarettes, and also not drugs. So you got to take out the all three version. Same if I'm going to go ahead and look at alcohol and illegal drugs. Okay, so I have 114 people that do alcohol and illegal drugs. I got to take those 97 out that do all three. And I have 17 total that do only alcohol and illegal drugs, but not the third. I do the same for cigarettes and drugs. I have 119 people that do cigarettes and drugs. I have to take out the 97 people that do all three. And I have 22 people that only do cigarettes and drugs and not alcohol. Right? So now I'm getting my petals done. I'm doing okay. And now I need to look at, okay, how many people only do alcohol? All right. Well, I have a lot of things going on in alcohol here. So I have 894 people total that drink alcohol. I have to take away the 327 from those that do alcohol and cigarettes. Okay. The 97 that do all three. And the 17 people that do alcohol and drugs. And I end up with 453 people that only do alcohol, nothing else. I'm going to do the same thing with cigarettes and drugs. Right, for cigarettes and drugs, I'm going to go ahead and take my total cigs, 665, and subtract my 327, my 97, and my 22, and I end up with 219 people that only smoke cigarettes and don't do anything else. Illegal drugs, going to do the exact same thing. The people that do drugs is 192. And I subtract the 17, the 97, and the 22. And I have a total of 56 people that only do drugs. Okay, now remember this was a survey of behaviors. So the universe here, I need to go ahead and add everything together and see how many people were actually surveyed here. So the survey followed a bunch of people, and the results are here, and they told us how many students were surveyed. Okay, well, let's look at this. So how many students were surveyed? I have all the 894, the 192, the 665, and subtract the people that had the other behaviors. Okay? So if I go ahead and add everything, remember, add and then subtract the dual things. Okay? So this ends up being to be 1,500 people. Okay, so we have to add up those that did all the things and then subtract the people, all the other things that happened. Okay, so the 453, the 219, the 56, and subtract out the people that did extra. Okay, we have a total of 1,500 people that were surveyed. All right, so if we have 1,500 people surveyed, how many people are in our universe? We really need to think about that. How many of the people surveyed did none of these things? Okay, and we would go ahead and look at the numbers. Our universe, after we take 1,500 and we subtract people that do everything, we end up with 309. Okay, part B. How many people drank alcohol and smoked cigarettes but did not use illegal drugs? Okay, smoked alcohol, cigarettes, and did not use illegal drugs is this section right here. So 327. How many people drank alcohol or used illegal drugs but did not smoke cigarettes? So for part C, we would have to add the 453 from A, plus the 17 overlap, plus the 56 over here, but nothing that involves C. And that gives me 526. This one is really challenging. This is something I like to put on a test. Please go ahead and try it. If you don't understand something, please reach out to me. I'll go ahead and try to re-explain it or re-diagram it in a way that's better for you. But hopefully this is good. Have a good night and reach out to me if you have any questions.